Now there's a massive grab. And is it shocking to anybody that Larry Fink, after 3 years ago, when I was talking about buy Bitcoin, he was on TV saying it's a Ponzi, it's a fraud, you should run away, you should be afraid of it. Now he goes on and said, you should probably think about it because it's a good way to protect your assets against devaluation.
Today, Morgan Creek Capital's Mark Yusko discusses the current state of the crypto market and how Bitcoin will play a major role amidst the uncertainty we're seeing with investors in the latter half of the year. Yusko believes that suppressing technological advancements like cryptocurrencies is futile and foolish, highlighting the unstoppable nature of Bitcoin. He also suggests that the trust industry, controlled by banks and insurance companies, will be disrupted, replacing trust with the truth. The Morgan Creek Capital founder says that he'll continue advocating for a portion of one's wealth to be outside the traditional banking system, beginning with Bitcoin. He envisions the disappearance of physical wallets, paper money, and traditional banking sooner than most expect. Yusko acknowledges the constant decrease in the value of fiat currency, and it is only a matter of time before Bitcoin becomes the gold standard for currency worldwide. Let's get into the latest interview with Mark Yusko, where he shares his insights on the future of money, the role of Bitcoin, and its potential to revolutionize the world of finance. Don't forget to share your thoughts and comments down below, and leave a like if you enjoy the content we do here.
So for years, I had talked about money as an asset that exists in the absence of a liability. And there's only been one in the history of the world, and that's gold. We tried a couple other things, but gold is really the one. Everything else on top of it, gold is the base layer of money, and everything on top of it is debt or currency. We use it as a medium of exchange, but it's not money. It's a currency, and it's backed by debt. Gold is an asset that exists in the absence of a liability. And that gold was at the root of money and at the root of discovery of banking. And I always used to give the Medicis credit, but there was a little piece of the story that I just learned about on this vacation to Portugal. So I'd always told the story that the Medicis, 800 years ago, borrowed, AKA stole, right? Picasso said, good artists borrow, great artists steal, stole this idea from these monks to do fractional reserve banking. And they and the Rothschilds and the Morgans have run that, that organization for all these years. Well, they said, no. Those monks were the Knights Templar, the Order of Christ, here in Portugal. And the reason is they had all the gold from all the other knights who would go off on their expeditions, and some of them didn't come back. Like, what should we do with all this gold? Hey, let's lend it to other people who want to go do something, and we'll charge interest. And they invented fractional reserve banking. And then the Medicis borrowed it and created dual entry accounting. Here's a crazy stat. The fines paid by the global banking system equal the market cap of Bitcoin. And that's for money laundering and stealing and spoofing and all the bad things they've done, because it was a system built on trust. But trust can be violated. What blockchain does, what Bitcoin does, it replaces trust with truth. And next year, 2024, and I've been talking about this for a long time, 2024 is when we finally make the breakthrough to the truth net. We had the internet, which busted the monopoly of the state-owned media that had control of information, because now we could access all information anywhere, anytime. Well, then the mobile net came along, and these things came along, and then commerce and media got disrupted. Because now, if I want the news, I don't have to wait for the New York Times to send a reporter to Buenos Aires to write a story. I can watch, a Periscope on Twitter and see people stand in the rain chanting Macri's name and know the dude's going to win. So it changed all of that and disrupted that. Well, a triple entry accounting, right, which is what a blockchain is, disrupts the trust industry. We no longer have to pay to make sure that the ledgers match, because we have a third ledger that says, Mark lent Lark $100. And I can't go change it. You can't go change it. It is permanent, immutable truth. And truth beats trust, because trust costs us 7 trillion with a T. Remember, 1 trillion is $1 a second for 31,710 years. It's a lot of money. So 7 of those babies every single year gets spent, banks, brokerage, insurance companies, title companies, all of the trust industry. And you know what? They like it because that's their revenue. But now blockchain and Bitcoin in particular blows that up. And that 6 to 8% of GDP now gets liberated. In Portugal, I was on, Avenida de Liberdade, right? Which is they were celebrating their liberty from Spain. But this liberates us from this 800-year-old oppression. And that's pretty cool. And that 6 to 8% of GDP, as it gets liberated, it will get reinvented, and creators will create more and builders will build more. And we'll see things that weren't possible in the past because we had to spend so much money on this frictional cost of verifying trust. The big four, JP Morgan, Citi, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo, were shaking in their boots as the assets were leaving their walls because they were paying zero interest. And at Celsius or BlockFi or Voyager, you could get 6 to 8%. Everybody says, oh, but they screwed up. Yep, you know what? Celsius, Voyager screwed up, Ponzi with their own token. Okay, that was stupid. That's like an algorithmic stablecoin. It's an oxymoron. It doesn't exist. BlockFi didn't do that. Did they not have enough adult supervision in managing their loan book and they had too much exposure to FTX, which turned out are criminals? They're just criminals. BlockFi is a victim, not a perpetrator. They're a victim. And there are other victims, but they were on a path to disrupting the depository institutions that we all hold dear. And guess what? They didn't like it. And so now there's a massive grab. And is it shocking to anybody that Larry Fink, after 3 years ago, when I was talking about buy Bitcoin, he was on TV saying it's a Ponzi, it's a fraud, you should run away, you should be afraid of it. Now he goes on and said, you should probably think about it because it's a good way to protect your assets against devaluation.
Yusko believes the history of money and banking draws parallels between gold and Bitcoin as true assets existing in the absence of liability. He highlights that throughout history, gold has served as the base layer of money, while everything else, such as debt and currency, has been built on top of it. Yusko argues that the traditional financial system, represented by global banks, has proven to be untrustworthy and fraught with corruption, evidenced by the staggering amount of fines paid for various misconducts. He contrasts this with the revolutionary potential of blockchain technology, which replaces trust with immutable truth. Yusko predicts that 2024 will mark a breakthrough for the Truth Net, where blockchain and Bitcoin play pivotal roles. He emphasizes that triple-entry accounting, facilitated by blockchain, disrupts the trust industry, liberating around 6 to 8% of global GDP spent annually on verifying trust. Bitcoin, as the most prominent cryptocurrency, plays a central role in this transformation. It empowers individuals to manage their finances independently, circumventing traditional banking systems. This disruptive potential has prompted reactions from established financial institutions, with some embracing the change, while others dismiss it as a Ponzi scheme. What do you think about the latest interview with Mark Yusko? And what do you think about his Bitcoin prediction and its impact on the crypto market? Comment down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content just like this. We'll see you in the next video.